Hi, I'm Mal from the Money Study, bringing you another episode of our Take 10 Challenge, and we're up to episode number 25, spouse contributions. So we're talking about putting some extra money into your partner's super and hopefully getting a benefit for doing so. There's our disclaimer. Today's session, all about facts, it's information, it's not advice in today's session, like all of our sessions. Spouse contribution. Look, what this is all about is to encourage partners on bigger incomes to assist their spouse who doesn't have quite as much super to help them build their super. Now that's the theory. Is it really a big problem? Look, it's nice. It's nice to think that, yep, as a couple, we've got similar sort of superannuations. We're both contributing to our retirement together and so forth. It's a nice thought, but is it absolutely necessary? Not really. One member could have $1 million, the other could have 200,000. As a couple, that's $1.2 million. Reasonably sort of comfortable retirement. So it's not imperative that we do this. Now, there may be some reasons why. If the person on the higher income is getting towards more sort of caps that's going to restrict them, it could be a case that they've got rather a large tax bill and they're looking for ways to reduce their taxes. So just a couple of little benefits here. The eligibility is this, that the member who is basically going to do the contributing, there is no cap on them. They can be doing whatever they like. It's just the fact that the person receiving the money, the spouse receiving the money, needs to be earning less than $37,000 a year. That's their assessable income, including all their fringe benefits and all the other bits and pieces, everything it's their assessable income of 37. Now it's a sliding scale, a bit like we heard yesterday in the co-contribution. There will be some benefit if the partner earned less than 40,000. It cuts out at 40,000. So once your spouse earns more than $40,000, this does not work. A little bit of benefit between 37 and 40, and the maximum benefit if your partner does indeed earn less than $37,000. Now, you're not allowed, if you're going to contribute this money to your partner, you can't claim a tax deduction for it. So it's not like you can call this, put it in, get a tax deduction, and then claim this thing as a spouse contribution. You can either do some salary sacrifice, which we're going to talk about later, into your own account, or you put the money into the spouse. You can't have it both ways here. But the idea is there is a cap as usual. The maximum contribution to get the benefit is $3,000. Now, that doesn't say you can't put more into your spouse's account. It just means that you don't get any tax benefit for more than $3,000. What happens is you get a tax offset. You get a tax offset up to 18% of the contribution. Now, 18% of a maximum of $3,000 contribution is a $540 tax offset. Now, a tax offset is not a tax deduction. An offset is actually pretty good in the regard that you literally just subtract $540 off whatever your tax bill was for the year. So if you had a tax bill of $20,000 in the year and you've made a spouse contribution of $3,000 because the partner was eligible, then your tax comes down by $540 in that particular case. Not huge, again, but still, if it's a case of making $540 on $3,000, yep, that's nice. That's a nice sort of return on their money. 18%. It's basically what we are benefiting by sticking this money into our partner's account. So you can't claim a tax deduction on it. You and your partner have both got to be Australian residents. And at the time of making the contribution, you and your partner, you've got to make sure that you are living together. Okay, so you can't be living separately or apart on a permanent basis. Now, you may be living apart because your partner's off earning all these big dollars in the morning, working or something like that. That's not a permanent basis. It just would mean that you haven't really separated. You're just not going through some sort of marital dramas or something like that. So it's got a bit of a benefit. It gives you a good tax benefit for the person putting the money in, and of course by putting it into the partner's account, just sort of that money building and building and building. Remembering, of course, the same sort of deal. It's all preserved. Any money that goes into the partner's account, they are not going to get it out until, of course, their preservation age. So could be some benefits, of course, if the partner was a bit older and they're going to get this before the other person, only a small amount, of course. But it's just a case of any of these sorts of offerings that the government are sort of throwing at us. Does it make sense in our case? Can we afford to do so? And are we eligible? We can certainly help you with any understanding of what it's all about. Talk again on another session.